Hello, thanks for coming in. Please take a seat. So, before we get started with this interview, I just wanted to say that it very much excites us here at whoever the fuck we are to know that you are very passionate about wanting to become a metal listener and or someone that might participate in the genre himself. But before we get started, we just wanted to let you know that our focus here is not on the tenets of what made metal great in the past. We know that it's important to focus on those that are underrepresented in this community, and those people often are those who actively hate metal, but it's important to open the gates to them and make sure that they can have their voices heard. So, before we go any further, just want to let you know that we here practice the DEI principle, which is destroy, erase, improve. So, if you want to become a part of this company, it's best that you understand what we're looking for. So, I would like to outline these three and see if you'd like to move forward. Wait, where are you going? Come sit down. It won't be so bad. All right, let's get started. So I think we could all agree that it's important to be on the right side of history. And you can't be on the right side of history without destroying history itself. I think we could all agree that the best metal that ever existed is being produced right now by kids in their bedrooms, playing through very expensive gear that their parents bought them. And they're so excited about that gear that they don't give a fuck about having an actualized musical language, which is good because we here at whoever the fuck we are, we do not value that. We do value diversity as long as all roads lead to the same conclusion. So if you have an original thought in your head, if you have a musical language that goes outside the box a little bit and is challenging to the listener in any way, we want to very much expunge it from our airwaves. That will not be tolerated here. But let's focus on destroying the history part of it. We definitely want to make sure that what made metal great, or what was perceived to have made metal great in the past, is going to be eliminated because it was all based on falsehoods. The idea that you could have long form storytelling and riffs that make sense and chains of riffs that told a greater story based on where they land in the song, building songs, building albums, and having your own personal touch on it where it sounds like the artist you're listening to could only be that artist, and the song you're listening to from that artist could have only been produced by that artist. All of that stuff's got to go. That it kind of gets in the way of welcoming everybody with open arms, and any form of that you might see is going to be actually internalized gatekeeping. So we have to actively destroy all of that. Now let's move to the next part. As you can imagine, it's not enough to actively destroy everything that happened in metal before the turn of the century. We actually have to erase it so it can never be dug up again by anyone that's feeling adventurous and trying to find out what the progenitors were doing. So, in order to do that, we have to pollute the airwaves as much as we can with records that can be produced by anyone, with gear that doesn't cost money at all. You can just get your plugins and have a great sounding guitar tone and grab an interface for a couple $100, shit that out into the airwaves of the internet, and you're good to go. As long as so much of that is coming forward, people aren't going to be digging deep to find something that happened beforehand, and that's important. We need to make sure that the only voice being heard is that of the common mindset that is happening right now. Everyone that thought differently before now has been wrong, and on the wrong side of history, as we mentioned. So it's important that we actively erase everything that happened before and make sure that if you're trying to find out what metal is, that you're only going to be able to find what's on the surface, which is going to be littered with bedroom guitarists and YouTube personalities that are just going to be playing what might resemble a dexterous, busy riff for about 30 seconds. And a lot of people that are picking up an instrument for the first time, such as yourself, are probably going to be confused and think that there should be more to metal than what that is, and you'd be dead wrong. So before we have people kind of digging up the rubble and trying to find out if there are any other options out there, we have to erase it all from history. And that brings us to our third category, improve. Now that we've effectively destroyed and erased everything that metal was before the turn of the century, and with it the box that metal had thrived in, which was full of creativity, artistry, intelligence, inspiration, and character, we can move forward with that box being completely dismantled. We can have unity of thought and sound, and make sure that everything we produce from now on will provide the listener the exact same experience. And if we go across the board like a fast food chain, where no matter where you are, you're going to be getting the same burger, if we could provide that in a musical sense, we know that we'll be able to actively satiate the idiots that are going to be consuming our product. And there's no way that they won't be happy knowing that all of the things that plagued metal before, the unappetizing personalities, the terrifying sounds, and that horrible sense of creativity, now that that's all been actively destroyed and erased, we have nothing holding us back. And I'm really glad that you're here for this interview, because I know that you're the exact type of person that we're looking for, knowing that we could propel together metal into the current year, whatever year that is. So thank you so much for coming in. If you have any questions after all of that, we won't be listening to them, but we will be checking your resume. And if we see that you were born before the year 2000, you won't be hearing back from us. But either way, make sure that you keep producing, keep listening. If you want to pick up a guitar, just keep playing, keep producing. Don't stop producing, because we're going to be watching.